First up is the release process. As far as I know, there are no updates. Alan is currently out on holiday today. It's a holiday in the UK. Testing infra and process. Jim?
Ro was out at conferences all last week, but I took the opportunity to mess around with some DHT testing and sort of get my feet wet there. And I took the Cloud Run, Google Cloud Run serverless environment I was playing with, and figured out how to hook in some of the visualization work we've been doing. And so now I can run the tests and get like thousands of separate traces with full sets of events, and then click on them and see the visualizations. So I think it needs a little bit more review, but I think when I'd like to get a bit more feedback on it, and then maybe make a little video we can circulate. So the visualizer itself is also under development, so I don't know how much don't know if I want to post screenshots of that publicly yet. So.
Okay, the other update here is, well, actually, not an update. The benchmarks PR is still pending review. Garbage collector and pinning. Alan Shaw is still working on the garbage collection PR. I can see some commits from 4 hours ago, which means he's working on holiday, which he should not be doing. So moving on, gossip sub. Vasco.
Hey, the state is the same as it was last week. Basically, now that the JS libp is released, I just need to update the libp interop PR with the newest version, which I will do maybe today or tomorrow, and it will be ready to merge after that. Also, I'm still blocked in the JS IPFS integration for code review, and that's the state.
Okay, subdomain gateways, PRDs, encoded as CIDs are still pending as a libp RFC. If I can find that. Lionel, could you post a link to that?
It's actually in the notes, the RFC itself. I think it's still waiting for review from the P2P team. They were traveling and
yeah,
not
available. No, I'm just not seeing it under. I'm not seeing a link under subdomain gateway, but okay. Repo consolidation. Jacob?
Yeah, this is done. So all of the deprecation notices are out, and we released JS libp 0.26.1, which includes all the modules merged in.
Okay.
So
distributed signaling, same.
Yeah. So I just got the WebRT signaling working over a relay today. So I've got a proof of concept of that. So I'm going to work on abstracting that out and updating the spec and commenting there on a path forward for that. I'll push some code up tomorrow of that all working. And then I also am going to look at leveraging other peers. We talked about it last week for ICE, because currently we're using the default servers that Simple Peer uses, which are Google and Twilio ICE servers. So hopefully we can use that for AutoNAP, but I'm going to look into that. That is it.
Okay. Eden.
Yeah. So landed the make IPNS over PubSub work independently PR. So that works now. Asterisk. Yeah. So this means that if it now takes one DHT query to get your PubSub, your IPNS records, instead of us just waiting for the timeout, which is both not hitting the number of quorum peers and also not returning very fast, kind of the worst of both. Unfortunately, the bootstrapping that is built in, that is already there, is too low for one DHT query. It's just our DHT is too slow for the timeout we set. And while we could just fudge with the numbers, we want to make PubSub discovery better anyway, which is where my time will be going next. Right now I'm working on putting some utility tools for discovery so that we can basically just like make things usable and make them composable like we have for content routing. And there's an issue link there if you are interested. Also, Hugo, are you on the call? Yeah, so all you.
Yeah, so I want to get the spec for the DNS, IPNS of the DNS out this week. Probably a little bit scoped down without the local MDNS parts. And also finish the definition of the deploy process for the name servers, so we can actually test the code with some actual running name servers. That's about it.
Okay. 1 sec, I'm trying to check the status of something. Okay. The next one, migration to multi-hash keys and data store, is still pending. I'm not seeing any package manager updates. Oh, that's what it is. There needs to be something here. We had a big swap hack week. Dirk, could you post the link to the issue you wrote up? I know it's not quite ready, but.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Maybe I'll just explain quickly. Myself and Stephen were working on BitSwap last week, and we want to make a couple of protocol extensions. So at the moment, in BitSwap, you can only really ask for a block, which means that it's difficult to find out information about how blocks are distributed throughout the network, because if you have to ask for a block, you're getting back a lot of duplicate blocks. So we proposed adding a mechanism whereby peers can say whether they have or don't have a block. And we also are going to be kind of handling rate limiting in a little more informative way, where a peer can say, hey, I'm getting overloaded, and so then we can back off. So basically we'll try to keep peers busy, meaning peers should always have a little bit of data to send to us, but we don't want to overload them. So yeah, I'll be talking about that next week during the IPFS call.
Next up, async await refactor.
So Alan is not here, but I can talk. I have been working on it last week mostly. So I created 3 new PRs for the JSLP side migration. And basically the status now is that I'm kind of blocked in a set of PRs because I need to have Alan's review in the interface connection, which will be probably the biggest blocker at the moment and will allow us to get merged 4 or 5 other modules. And regarding the status, we are 72% of the PRs are now or merged or open. So only 28% are with any work so far.
Okay, that's it for the status updates. Any new design proposals? Blockers asks.
Yeah, I was not sure if I should put the RFC for the P2P spec in review proposals or blockers. So
I think that's blockers asks. So like we're not going to go over design review in IPFS. That's in the P2P land.
Okay, I'll move it to blockers then.
Questions? How to pronounce Adin's name? I'm sorry, I always mess this up.
No worries. The last name is worse. It turns people's brains off at airports.
So is it Adin? What is the correct?
Yeah, Adin.
Adin. Oh wow, I pronounced it incorrectly both times. Okay.
All good.
Thank you very much. Okay. Then yeah, so the ask this week is for people to go and look at the Lippy CIDs, PRIDs as CIDs RFC. Wilo, could you post a link under blockers asks? Any parking lots?
Just in general, looking at kind of our OKRs for the quarter as kind of encompassed in the project operations chunk of things, seems to be aiming for a really good end of quarter cadence, but just wanted to get like a general, hey, we're about halfway through the quarter. How are folks feeling? What's folks' take on things? What are the things that people feel are most at risk or need extra help that people could maybe jump in on?
Testing. My concern is like we want to be able to start cutting fleeces before the end of the quarter. And I don't know how close we are to that yet. I don't think we're getting very close. One thing people can jump on that doesn't require a lot of context is just like writing integration tests and stuff like that for Go IPFS or JS IPFS. Although I think JS IPFS has better tests than Go. So if you're interested in working on any of this kind of stuff or and have bandwidth for it, please ping me and we can talk and try to find like useful things to like test and benchmark. Also, yeah, definitely talk to Jim.
Yeah, last week I did some, finally got some ability to get some good numbers out of the DHT stuff. I noticed the version that I was testing that had the tracing stuff is way faster than the current master stuff, which I imagine is because there's a lot of unmerged things that are going to go into the next release.
Yeah,
so,
that's the stabilized branch probably,
which
does a lot of things to avoid bad nodes. That's basically we want to test this. What happens when we upgrade like a quarter of the network to stabilized branch, half the network, all the network, and like see how that affects the rest of the network. It's
extremely dramatic, I would say, in terms of what it does, the effect it has. So, but it'd be interesting. Yeah, that's just one test I'm doing. So, there's a lot of different things to test in that. So,
would we be at all curious for anyone who is currently like in a private network or in their own space having like DHT challenges to try like running the stabilized branch?
In a private network, they're less likely to have the problems we have. I guess they could try it, but like if in a private network, like they have a few nodes, like the DHT works just fine with 100 nodes. There are 100 nodes that are not behind NATs. It just starts falling over when you have like 100,000 nodes with like NATs and stuff. So, but
the removing the be an auto relay or being a relay node from IPFS, is that going to be a patch release thing or a major release thing?
I'm going to put it into the master, and then if we just like, it wouldn't motivate a patch release. I don't think it's that important because it's just like, yes, it's something I would like to do, but like not that many people make that mistake. Yes, some people make that mistake, but not that many people. It wouldn't motivate a release, but like if we do a patch release, then I would sneak it in. For people lacking context here, some people will turn on auto relay and relay hop at the same time, and they will make themselves auto relays, and then they will get DOSed. The idea here is to make this not possible and say, look, like you can, like if you want to be a relay, or sorry, like an auto relay, you have to run this special, like the PPT, really not a special thing. You just run the libp daemon instead. You don't use IPFS. There's no reason these have to be in the same client, but it's like, it's really like, all that's just because the option names, but it's really confusing, and users will turn this on without realizing it. And unfortunately, like, because they told the network that they are this a relay, it's really hard to convince the network that you're no longer a relay. So you'll just continuously be DOSed like forever, basically.
Maybe docs on, maybe like you should put some docs up on how to rotate your PRID or something, or put tools for that.
Yeah, I mean, a small feature that someone could input if they wanted would be like a tool for doing that. Like that's something we've wanted for a while anyways. So kind of like maybe, I don't know if it would go under key or ID. There's some security concerns there, but yeah. Basically, I think we want to do this eventually, but it's not like it's burning. Like the thing that might motivate a patch release would be fixing the, if anyone's following this, like a significant amount of the traffic in the DHT is trying to find relays, and fixing that issue would motivate a patch release, in which case you probably sneak something like this in. Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, I have one more question. I just wanted to get clarification on like how what's our process for approving or just merging a PR? Like when can we kind of merge our own PR?
When it has a approving review?
I guess that's the question, does it always have to have an approving review?
Stephen?
Sorry, my computer opened and killed a bunch of processes. Yes, when you can merge a PR. Generally, so like I have a document on this. It's not very clear, unfortunately, but so like if you look at contributing guidelines, or sorry, if you look at the contributing repo under contributing_go .md, it describes approximately the process. Where basically like you need a review from someone. Ideally, someone who like appears to know the code base. Like, so like if you're unfamiliar with the code base, look at git blame and stuff like that, and see like if they've featured to before. And then if you think it's ready, you merge it. Like this is something we probably should get better at. But the general process is like you get one review and then you merge, and you can decide when to merge. If you're like I think on the other side of this, if you're giving a review and it's ready to merge, like say looks good to me, or like merge. Otherwise, like if you're giving a review that's not good to merge, either don't give a green check mark, or give it a green check mark but explicitly state like, but I think someone else should look at this, and ideally point to the person who should look at it. That's just my comment there. Maybe we should make that more explicit now. In the past, it's always just been like, well, if someone gives it a review, you can probably just merge it, like unless it's like some weird complicated change. A lot of it is just like, if it's a breaking change, pull in more people who like have more context. If it's not a breaking change, like a small little bit bug fix, get someone to look at it and merge it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, specifically, I've been seeing more people like merging their own PRs without reviews. So I just kind of wanted to check when that's okay.
That's me. That's wrong. I shouldn't be doing that. I do that because like I'm trying to like push a bunch of stuff through all at once, and like I hate waiting for reviews. I should not be doing that. I will try to get better at this, and I will bug people more for reviews.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's just you. I think I've seen it a few places, but
it depends on what you're doing. So like if it's like a really tiny like doc change, something like that, or like a CI fix, it's fine. If it's like a test fix, it's fine. If it's a new test, it's fine. It's only like if you're making an API change, you definitely want to review. If you're making like a bug fix, it's a good idea to get a review. If you're like adding a feature, you definitely want to review stuff like that. Or like if it's just like really over time, you kind of just learn what things need reviews, what things don't. Don't do what I do, or like I'm trying to get better at this, but I'm so lazy sometimes. But yeah, this is like, see, you can think something is, oh, this is fine. It's just a small little change. It won't matter. And then, yeah, some undocumented reason, or for some undocumented reason, it just breaks everything. Yeah. But I also want to make it clear, like we try not to be sticklers about stuff like this, where like basically do what you think is best. If something doesn't work out, you get pushback and then just accept the feedback. Because like we don't want to block on process and ceremony and stuff like that. It just doesn't help anyone. Okay. I think that's it. See you all later.
Happy Monday.